All right, it seems to be working. So, I spent the last 2 days pretty much getting stuck with bad 3D print issues. And partly it was, well, I think a lot of it is my errors. And so, because I was preparing to do the final print so I can send off to the workshop, I went to retighten everything and get the printer in as good a state as everything. Did a test leveling print, and I kind of was just going through just going through the checks, and I was like, okay, it's only about 0.1 millimeter off, so I should be good. Just tightening, and I started doing a couple of prints, and in one of my really big prints, it had some issues, right? It had some problems with leveling, and I was like, okay, I need to relevel, and I went through the measurements again and paid greater attention. It was 0.15 millimeters, and in and of itself it's probably okay most of the time, but occasionally it just gives me issues. So I spent maybe half a day trying to level everything and get them all right. And I put one of my prints in, and it failed not once but twice. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I should have thought about this, but I didn't. Second, I realized it was actually a fault in the G code for some reason. I don't know why. But just generating a new G code file worked. So I guess partly I was lazy. So it's just the second print I should have just made a new G code to begin with. So that was pretty much almost one entire day wasted trying to figure that out. But finally that's done. I mean, I'm saying this just to let you guys know that it's just because you've done it a couple of times doesn't mean it's going to be smooth sailing. In fact, part of the challenge of always coming and doing something new is that you encounter problems, and I guess it's the same with any medium, right? I mean, I could be sculpting or doing pottery or painting or whatever. There's always going to be issues that you face with the medium, like solvents for paints and where the clay comes from for your pottery and stuff like that, and these are things to work out. These are technical crafts details that you work out. Same with 3D printing, same with 3D modeling, same with physical traditional crafts. So no complaints. It's part of the job, part of what I'm mentally signed up for. But just it takes time, right? It costs time. I was planning hopefully to have gotten a tiny bit further. I've just lost about 2 days. So finally I'm back, and as you can see, this is the outer shell, and I'm gonna do, I think, 2 or 3 more pieces for this model, and then that's it. That's design freeze off the production, because I can keep tweaking this. I can try to improve this, perfect this, and quite frankly, that's not how production works. At some point, I gotta do a feature freeze, and I am kind of stating that now. So now is when I do my feature freeze. Okay, so I want to do like 2 external kind of power generator sort of things because of the main guns, kind of electric guns. I want to have 2 generators or some kind of a post sticking outside. Entirely aesthetic, entirely stylistic, but something has to be done. I want to stick them out in the back somewhere. So my idea is that I will, first of all, create a new component. I just call it generator, right? And okay, so create a new plane on 3 points, and the 3 points will be this 3 points. Oops. Right, so I created a plane for this generator because it's highlighted using geometry from the previous thing. So using this, I will create sketch and something slightly squarish. Oops. What the hell? Yeah, whatever. I mean, the thing about this is that because I'm doing this on a curved surface, I will be able to move this around later on. This seems to be a pretty big piece. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this is because I want this as an interface for my oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that on here. Shouldn't have done there. Okay, stop sketch. Edit feature. 3 points. What? Okay. What I just did was to change the reference points for the layer so that I have a layer that more represented the curvature of the curved surface. I don't know if that makes sense. It barely makes sense to me as well, but I'm gonna use this as the right. So right, so this is the new body. So this is the actual base of that piece. It's semi-large, you know, and because it's on a curved surface, I can push it here, I can push it anywhere along this axis. It should work still fine. Right, okay. Let's go back there. I want to see that sketch because I want to... This is what I don't like about Fusion 360 is that I have to be the guy figuring out how the planes are gonna work, you know. Whereas in SolidWorks, I'll just try to create a plane and just add in the way, and it'll semi smartly figure things out. Okay, let's try this. Suppose. Okay, so I got this plane that is perpendicular to here, but it's not perpendicular to there. I'm gonna have to eyeball this, which is fine. So yeah, so this is somewhat perpendicular to this curved surface in this very strange way. So this will be, what the hell? Alright, so this, why is this moving? Oh, so there's actually another line there. What the hell? What did I just do? Anyway. Right, okay. It's gone black. So I just want to have a quick look at this. So it's gonna be like something you might see in the power station, something I know very, don't have a real specific idea of how I'm gonna do this, but something cylindrical, something sticking out, Yep, I think this is about a good length. So how long is this? It's 14. 1.5 cm. Let's do 13.5. Alright, so I'm gonna do a resolve on this. Something like this, some kind of profile like this. Yeah, 1 cm thick. Less than that, 4.5. Seven cm. Right, so that looks about right. Okay. Revolve around axis there. Right. So got this container. Bring back to add a little bit of something. I think this can be a little bit more interesting. Yep, something like that. Okay. Might change the angle. Might change the draft angle of this so that I get a little bit better. It's pretty huge. Okay. How's that look? That looks alright. So this is purely static. It's actually pretty big. I might hollow it out later on, but generally speaking, this is what I want. Yep. First plane. So let me get some bolts in here. Alright. I should be able to turn that off now. Okay, so right, so right, so this is one of the places where I'm going to connect the wires. Might move it down a little bit lower. Nearly to the edge, but not quite. Okay. Might seem a bit long. I think I shall pull this in a little bit. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Yeah, this looks a little bit better. Alright. It's a little bit long as well, so I'll make it short. Edit feature 1. Okay. This is also 1.25. Okay. Circular pattern, features, axis. Okay, so there. Yep. So that's my kind of a generator thing. So I can run a bit of wire here into these so that to give this sort of look. Actually, I want to change the angle of this thing. I think it's the wrong. Let me think about this. I'm going to change the pattern of this thing. So symmetry, it is angle. Yeah, that's what I want. Kind of like that. It's a little bit irregular, but I think it's alright. Okay. A few more things to do. No. Right. Okay. So 10 or 5 and and 3 above. I think this is about right. Okay. Cool. So that's the shield. Yep. You know what? This is going to go a little bit further. Okay. So that's the front plate. I'm just gonna add riveting onto this, and the way I will do it is go back that plane again. Oh, this plane is not this plane. Okay, plane. This plane. Okay. This is the not exactly perpendicular plane. But it should work. Okay. Right, so I got this. Okay. So might be a bit low. Close to the edge, as I would like. This circular pattern, symmetrical feature, this axis, symmetrical. Wouldn't be 180, it would be two. It looks super exaggerated now, but I think once it's printed out, a lot of that goes away. It's going to be another bloody complicated piece to print. So now the question is whether I need another line coming through here. Probably not, that looks a little bit excessive. Let's hide this. Let's hide the axis. How does this whole thing look? Bear in mind that there's going to be wires sticking out when that's done. Top's a little bit long, I shall lower that. And other than that, I think that's fine. Yeah, visually this looks a little bit better. I mean, logically you have a lot more armor on this thing because it's externally exposed, but yeah, sometimes those things go out the window when you're thinking about aesthetics. Let me shorten this a little bit more. Let's exaggerate this a little bit more. Let's try to mirror this. I'm going to mirror this. Mirror. Component. Select generator. And mirror axis. Right, so I've got your little bunny ears. That's how it looks. I'm gonna save this. Get latest update of this. Right, so this is gonna get the bunny ears. The bunny ears are gonna stick out pretty high up. That's not too bad actually. It's got certain symmetry to it. So the money ears are going to be power generators, external power generators for this. Look alright. A little bit big though. Maybe the rivets are a bit big. I'll make the rivets smaller and denser just to match the rest of this. And back looks okay. Right, so that's the first of the things that I'm building as a supplementary to this. And bear in mind, you can actually attach these here, you know, or literally anywhere along this plane. So it should look good somehow. Okay. Back to generator. Edit sketch 0.5. Stop sketch. Edit feature. -1 Stop sketch. What are the size of these? 0.6 are they? It's bigger than mine. Sketch 0.6. 0.3. Ooh, that's very dense. That might look not bad actually. Maybe too dense. Yeah, that looks better. Well, these are the power generation. Cool. Yeah, that looks good. One last thing, because I will definitely forget if I don't do it, is to actually hollow it out. So I'm going to go to here. Oh, too big. Do it anyway first, and then we'll adjust. Yep. Yeah, so I hollowed it out. I mean, just a smart thing to do generally. Prevents us a lot of problems later on. Oops. I need to bring this back. Right, so I hope that gave you a little bit of an idea of how I work, and the sort of thought processes and decision making that goes along the way. I have a rough idea what I want, and then I will get into the software and see where it goes with me, and sometimes I'll only think about the practical aspects once I encounter the software. But that was a very simple little object. Took me about an hour ish, so you guys can have an idea of how long stuff takes with this. But I like parametric modeling because I can always go back and change the parameters and modify it that way. So I'm going to stop the stream here and going to take a short break, check on my prints, and then go work on the next thing. I'll see you guys in a bit.